Listen, we're right in the middle of a massive, totally industry-altering shift toward AI agents in real estate. We've got AI tools doing it all, trying to match buyers with sellers, renters with landlords, and honestly just automating the incredibly tedious parts of property transactions. But there is a huge roadblock right now. These AI agents are hitting a major language barrier because property data is so ridiculously fragmented, and AI trying to read a listing in London is looking at completely different data structures than an AI checking out a condo in Bangkok. It's just chaos. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the solution to all that chaos, the RAiA Protocol. We'll look at how it creates a unified language, basically standardizing the whole property market for artificial intelligence. And honestly, if you work in real estate, understanding this protocol is absolutely going to be the difference between keeping up or getting left in the dust. This brings us to a really fascinating question. How do AI agents actually talk real estate? Think about it from the computer's perspective for a second. How can an AI seamlessly find a property, verify those intensely complex local property laws, and then actually contact an agent without any human intervention at all? Well, if every single real estate agency formats their website and their databases differently, the AI just gets confused. It either needs human help to translate or it straight up fails. If we want fully automated real estate transactions, these machines desperately need a common tongue. Enter the RAiA Protocol. Think of it as a universal translator for PropTech. It's officially defined as a universal JSON schema-based language. Now, without getting bogged down in the deep tech, a JSON schema is really just a strict set of rules telling a computer exactly how data should be organized. By adopting this protocol, property AI agents can suddenly discover, understand, and interact with real estate listings literally anywhere in the world. It takes all that completely unorganized, messy data and turns it into a shared, standardized vocabulary that any AI can instantly read and, more importantly, act upon.
So let's look at the 3 pillars of this new AI vocabulary.
To really wrap our heads around how this works, we need to break down the language itself into 3 fundamental words or pillars. Pillar number 1 is the agent card, or agentcard.json. You can think of this as the digital handshake. When an AI agent is out scouring the web, the very first thing it looks for on a real estate agency site is this exact file, hosted at a specific standardized web address. What's so cool about this is that the card tells the AI everything it needs to know right off the bat. It declares the agency's identity, exactly what digital endpoints or web addresses to use to search for properties, and crucially, its capabilities. So with just one quick read of this document, the consumer AI knows immediately if the agent can take an inquiry, issue a delegation token, or accept an offer. It's the starting point that makes the whole shebang possible. Moving on to the second pillar, listing.json. This is where the actual property details live. And the creators of RAiA realized something super important for version 0.2 of this protocol. Real estate is absolutely full of localized jargon that completely trips up AI. Like British letting agents love using the term long let, but if you're an AI built in the US or Thailand, that means absolutely nothing to you. So the protocol ditched that local jargon in favor of globally understood terms like long-term or short-term. And it goes further. Instead of a massive, messy checklist of yes or no questions for property features, the protocol now just treats features as a clean list of community-curated tags, things like balcony, porter, or permit parking. It's incredibly clean, it's global, and it's practically gift-wrapped for an AI to digest. And finally, the third pillar, inquiry.json. Okay, so the AI has shaken hands with the agency using the agent card, it found the perfect property match using the listing schema, and now it's time to actually do something about it. This file dictates the exact structure of the message the AI sends to make contact. It requires an ID, the inquirer's name and email, and the actual message. Think of this structured post request as a highly secure digital envelope. It essentially guarantees that when an AI wants to book a viewing or ask a question, the receiving agency's system knows exactly how to read it. Boom, you've got a seamless, automated handoff. Which brings us to the jurisdiction block, or what I like to call local dialects. Because here's where we hit a massive real-world problem. Real estate laws are stubbornly local, right? To solve this, without cramming every country's specific laws into the main property listing, which would make the file just ridiculously massive and confusing, the protocol uses localized extensions. For instance, look at the UK extension. It handles things strictly relevant to the UK, like EPC ratings, council tax bans, and tenure. But then look at the Thailand extension. It includes entirely different data like Chonota title deed types, whether a condo is eligible for foreign ownership, and the exact distance in meters to the nearest BTS SkyTrain station. It is a brilliant way to keep the core language universal while letting the AI instantly switch into a local dialect so it perfectly understands London energy regulations just as easily as Bangkok foreign ownership laws.
Next up, trust and boundaries, keeping that data safe. Look, a universal language is entirely useless and, frankly, pretty dangerous if it doesn't respect the boundaries of sensitive data. Privacy is absolutely paramount here, especially for property vendors who really don't want their exact address blasted to every single AI bot on the internet before a client is even committed. So the RAiA Protocol built in strict rules for this, known as address masking. When a listing is anonymous, the AI system literally has to omit the exact street name and building number. Instead of giving a precise GPS pin, it provides a district centroid for the location point and only gives the outward half of the postal code. This is a great balance. It ensures AI agents can still figure out if a property fits a client's general neighborhood vibe without completely compromising the vendor's privacy.
And then we have to talk about the security of the agencies themselves. Remember that enquiry file we just talked about? When an AI sends that contact message, it's the very first time end client data is entering the agency's system. The protocol's official documentation is very clear, explicitly warning developers to treat message as untrusted input, sanitize before display or LLM processing. Why? Because you absolutely do not want a malicious user using an AI bot to inject harmful code into a real estate agency's database. The protocol actually outlines strict rate limits too, like only allowing 5 enquiries per hour per VMail, and demands that systems protect themselves. Yes, it's a universal language, but it's a language with very, very secure borders.
So, what's next? Let's take a look at the roadmap to version 1.0.
We have the vocabulary, the local dialects, and the security boundaries. But you guys, this is just the beginning. Look at this timeline. The sheer velocity of this shift is wild. In May 2026, version 0.2 launches to establish explicit schema versioning, making sure systems don't just break as the protocol upgrades. Following that, in version 0.3, we're going to see a massive global expansion, adding new jurisdiction extensions for Singapore, the US, and the EU. But the real game changer? That's slated for Q3 of 2026, when version 1.0 finally lands. Because it won't just be about discovering properties anymore. Version 1.0 introduces schemas for actual offers and counteroffers, automated agent fee splits, and even MCP tools for AI agents. We are literally talking about giving AI the standardized vocabulary to negotiate and execute fully automated real estate transactions, end to end.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly important question to ponder. Are your listings fluent in AI? Because as we've seen today throughout this explainer, the machines now have a language. They know how to handshake, they know how to read the complex local laws, and very, very soon they are going to know exactly how to negotiate the deal. The RAiA Protocol is setting the new standard. The only question is how quickly the rest of the real estate world will learn to speak it. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope this helps you navigate the completely fascinating future of real estate tech. Catch you next time.